Moogles and Chocobos, androids and replicants, it's Nier Time in War of the Visions. In this video, we'll go over all of the new summon banners, the shops, the events, and the new gear. There's quite a lot to cover, but I think we can get through it pretty quickly. When we look at the summon banners, we'll also be talking about how free-to-play and light spenders should be approaching these banners as well. Anyway, enough talk, let's hack our way into Nier Automata. The first thing we needed to talk about is the big one. It's the headliner. We're just going to get this out of the way real quick. If you go over to the Mog shop, you're going to notice that Gumi did something super nice for us. 2B is guaranteed as a pity for summon medals. Gumi, this is huge. I think they should have been doing this a long time ago for collab units. This is mainly the reason why people play War of the Visions, or a lot of people play War of the Visions, is for the collab units. So the people who spend 60, 80, 100,000 on trying to get collab units and don't get them, I think those people are more likely to quit than they are to continue playing the game. So this right here is a step in the right direction. Gumi needs to keep doing this for collab events, making these units pity. So this is 2,000 medals. What that means is it's a minimum of 40,000 Visuor. I guess I shouldn't say minimum, it's a maximum of 40,000 Visuor that you'll spend to get enough summon medals to get 2B. So 2B is guaranteed. If you have the Visuor for it, you can see I've planned for this event accordingly. The event shop for new players, experienced players are pretty familiar with these. For new players, grab this Rainbow Vision Sphere, grab this Blossom of Paradise. The rest of this stuff pretty much just work top down on this shop. I do want to talk about the red job memories for 9S. For newer players who may not be aware, for all players who may not be aware, since 9S is given out for free, make sure you pick up all 27 of these, and then you pick up all 4 of the yellow ones as well. The last thing you want is to be collecting shards for 9S in the future and not be able to EX him because you forgot to pick up these job memories. So because every player is going to have 9S, make sure you come in here and pick these up. Spring 2021 medals, these are just like the anniversary medals for free to play and light spenders. Guys, Gilgamesh, Dark Knight Stern, and Bahamut Vision card are half cost with these medals. This means I would almost always, in 99% of occasions, be spending these on premium units and vision cards. Take the value when you can. The last thing I want to mention is if we scroll down here to the Soul Metal shop, which I didn't mention this in the anniversary event, which we probably should have mentioned this. You can pick up Final Fantasy X Mind Spheres in this shop for right here. You can pick up 150 of these. Every player pretty much should be doing this. If you have these soul medals to spare, max out as many of these as you can. So experienced players, you're gonna have enough soul medals. Pick up all of these. Even for newer players, you may not have these soul medals, so don't worry too much about it. But the reason why we pick all of these up is because these are basically shards for limited time units. So we're kind of planning for the future. And since these are limited units, those shards are so hard to get. Everyone has Titus, again, like we are mentioning with 9S. Since everyone has Titus, unless you've already maxed out Titus, you're picking these up and planning for the future. Okay, let's head over to the regular shop and we're going to take a look at a couple of the new things that they've added. These should be pretty quick. The Nier Automata collaboration shop, light spenders, paid Visuor. This is 5,000 paid Visuor for 120 unit shards for either 2B or 9S. These are not really that valuable for paid Visuor, so you're just looking at this. This is a no. I mean, it's better than the other two sets in here, but 5,000 paid Visuor is pretty steep, especially when you can just pick up these shards in the shops. Similar with these, I don't like 2,000 paid Visuor just for 40 unit shards on some other stuff. Okay, moving on to this Spring 2021 shop, there's a lot of things to look at here. Pick up your story skip tickets every single day. This Spring 2021 pack, 30 large energy restores might be worth this 1,000 if you have a whole ton of Visuor saved up. That's one thing you can look at. But the real big thing we need to talk about is this Spring 2021 Part 1 recommended UR unit, shard times 200 summon ticket. Value-wise, this is a fantastic deal. You're getting 200 UR unit shards for one of these units that are listed. So it's 10,000 Visual worth of unit shards for 2,000 Visual. There's only two things I don't like about this. Number one is that you don't get to choose which of these units. And number two is that all of these units haven't launched EX even in Japan yet. So you'll be waiting for a long time to actually put these shards to use, I guess, if you don't have these units maxed out, but then you're just rolling the dice that you would get units you don't have maxed out. The exception to what I just said is Frederica. Her EX will launch really soon. And Venera, actually, Venera did launch recently, but it's going to be a while before any of these other units get EX in global. So it's not an immediate value thing, but it is really good value. And in terms of min maxing, it's a strongly consider. The rest of this stuff in this shop, I definitely wouldn't touch. I looked through all of these before filming this video, and I didn't like basically any of these for Visual, and then you're going to pick up all this stuff for Gale. Okay, now for the good stuff, let's move on to the summon banners. So this time around, they didn't just give the free unit in your gift box, they're actually giving us a 10-time summon where it guarantees 9S in that first slot or in that 10th slot, wherever it is. 9S is guaranteed, that's the point. There's a couple of really cool things about this. Number one, they're just giving you a 10-time summon, so there's some other stuff in there. Number two is that you can actually pull 2B and the vision card on this summon. So that is so cool. You could potentially do this free summon, get 9S, 2B, and the vision card all in one swoop. Odds are probably pretty low, but I would guarantee there's going to be somebody out there that does that, where they pull all three collabs on here. So potentially you could get 2B or the vision card completely for free. Okay, moving on, we have the 2B summon banner. We're going to come back to this in a second. The important thing to note here is this 100 summon medals. So we're going to have to talk about that in a second when we talk about the step up. The 9S banner, I don't know why anyone would ever summon on this. Let's just say that, because 9S was given for free. No one's ever going to touch this banner. The step up for the vision card, there's only one thing we need to look at here. The step ups, 10,000 Visual to guarantee yourself the card. They did not add in any bonus shards on step 3 like they've been doing. Kind of disappointing, but you know, they don't have to do that. Card's still guaranteed for 10,000 Visual. Because they're not giving out these free shards, make sure you have enough Visual on top to max out this card. Since it's limited, you won't be able to come back and get shards for this card. Okay, the step up, this is the featured event for the summoning here, especially for free-to-play or light spenders, and this is what's really going to determine how you're going to approach trying to get 2B. This is where most players should be starting to get 2B because of all the freebies and extra stuff that you're getting. You get the extra unit shards here, you're getting extra unit shards here, and free summons, and you know, we're pretty used to these step ups by now. So the amount of free stuff that you get on here is great, but you could go through this entire step up and not get 2B, and that would be kind of disappointing, and I think a lot of people probably will, and you'll have to move on to the 2B banner. Luckily, the 2B banner will give you those summon medals so that even if you fail on the step up, you can go to that 2B banner. You will also get summon medals on the vision card banner as well. So keep that in mind. You just have to make 20 total summons to get that 2,000 medals to get 2B for free. So anyway, we're starting here on this step up. If you don't have 50,000 Visual like I have, you kind of have to approach things a little bit differently. If you have 10 or 15 and you're really looking at like, maybe I'll do this and trying to get 2B. Best case scenario is you pull her early here and then you can just start buying shards, or you could even finish this step up since it's only 14,000 total. Worst case scenario would be you get 2B shards here, you get 2B shards here, you get 2B shards here on like all of these, you get 2B shards and you don't pull 2B. My alternate account did this with Auron. I have like 520 Auron shards and no Auron. It's really sad. So that's the worst case scenario. Most people will probably land somewhere in the middle where you pick up like half 9S shards, half 2B shards, and then you'll end up going to get 2B on the pity. Okay, before we move on to the other banners, I do want to talk about whether or not you should actually build 9S, and for that I'm going to completely defer to Mysidia's Should You Pull video, friend of the channel. He did a fantastic job breaking down 9S, 2B, and the vision card the places where you could use them, the considerations for pulling. So I'm just going to direct you to that video, and I'm going to link that in the description below, because he explains it a lot more eloquently than I do, and I'm beginning to figure out that he's a lot smarter than me. Moving on to the summon banners, they added this applicable UR unit guaranteed. This is 2,000 paid Visuor for each step. This is a no, 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 no. Never are you doing this. Just moving on. They added some extra story part 1 finale banners. So this is like all the same stuff we saw in the anniversary. 10 UR units, or sorry, 10 URs guaranteed can be retried 3 times. 10 UR units can be retried once. And then I think they have a 10 vision cards. Yeah, 10 UR vision cards can be retried once. So these are all great options for light spenders. For free to play, now a lot of us are super strapped on Visuor, and a lot of people are still spending Visuor on Final Fantasy X units. You might want to try and find a way to do these 5-time unit summons and these 50 unit shards. Just the value of these are so good, especially for the vision cards, the 5 vision cards and the 25 vision card shards. These are where I would prioritize first. I would grab the 5 vision cards guaranteed, especially for newer players as you're trying to build out your roster of vision cards and espers. Move on to the vision card shards and then move on to those units. So that's kind of how I would prioritize those. Finally, I want to talk about the sword for 2B and the spear for 9S that you can farm here through the high difficulty EX and the brutal difficulty. You are going to want to pick up probably a +5 at least for this spear. And the reason I say that is because everybody gets 9S. And in the future, you know, 3, 4, 5 months down the line, when you're running like a tower or you're running one of the lightning only element quests that will be coming, and you have 2B and or you have 9S and you don't have his spear, you're going to be hitting yourself in the head. So make sure you pick this up, since everybody has 9S. Pretty much everybody in the game should be running a +5 of this spear as well. This sword is a little less necessary. If you have 2B, it's great because it's got slashing and piercing on it. And then there are some katana wielders in the game that can make use of that piercing damage. I believe Laswell's one. If you don't have purple lightning, this can be a good sword for him if he's running the Dragoon sub. And I think Rob can do piercing damage. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But anyway, there is one thing that I did want to mention with these brutal difficulty quests. Guys, everybody should be pushing to try and complete these. Formation includes only a certain element to get this +3. This saves you so much time and materials in farming to get towards that +5. And the thing to remember with these is you can call in an ally to do this. Your entire win team could be level 1s, and you could call in a level 120 2B to help you with the mission and do it just with that unit. All of your units could die. It doesn't matter. You just need to get this all wind units, and you just have to complete the mission. That's the only thing. Then you can worry about trying to pick up these other missions or farming the event. Everybody should have at least a +3 of this sword and a +3 of the spear coming out of this. I did want to quickly mention the daily purchase bonuses for this week. This is why you should probably jump on that 2B train pretty early if you're a light spender. This means that if you grab 2B right away on day 1, you spend $7, you can pick up an extra let's see, 5 per step, 35, 70. This is 80 shards. This is 80 shards for 2B for $7. So don't forget that the daily purchase bonuses are here if you're a light spender and willing to spend a couple bucks a day. Also, don't forget that there's going to be challenge boards for 2B, 9S, the vision card. This is pretty standard, and then you have this extra challenge board for the Nier missions as well. The last thing, and I almost forgot, I almost went into the conclusion of the video, Chocobo Expedition. There's a new Chocobo Expedition for the Nier collab amusement park right here. A lot of people still working on Final Fantasy X units. If you're still working on Final Fantasy X units and EXing those units and picking up Mind Spheres, you can stay in this one. You have two weeks after this one disappears to go over to the amusement park for these units. If you happen to be doing both collabs and grabbing a bunch of unit shards, you can stay in this one if you're doing Final Fantasy X. If you're not working on Final Fantasy X units anymore, then you probably should just move over to this one if you don't need the shards for these units anymore anyway. All right, guys, well, that's it for this video. Hopefully that helps you guys work through everything for this week. And I'm going to be doing my summons on a separate video, so be on the lookout for that one. And good luck with your summons on Nier as well. We'll talk to you guys next time.